What's up, everyone? Welcome to Long Story Short on Nearing Nerdvana, bringing you episode 54. We've done 54 episodes? That's crazy.
Seems impossible.
Oh, and I forget about all our half episodes. So it's like,
Yeah, if you count those,
yeah, we're probably like in
who
the
knows
60s.
what the numbers are, man? Who knows? But
I'll tell you who knows. Our viewers know.
Man, we're going to be in syndication, bro. That's coming.
Oh, are we not allowed to podcast anymore because of because of SAG, right?
We don't have anybody writing for this show.
Oh, that's
Everything's
true.
just
clearly, there's nobody writing for the show.
Yeah. But we'd like to take this time to thank our sponsors. So they told us to keep the show going. So, that's what keeps the lights on, right? And then speaking of one of our sponsors, we have Miss Bird City joining us. How are you?
Hello.
I'm jumping into your show again. I'm sorry.
All right.
No
always
worries. We're just thanking our sponsors at this point in time. So we'd like to thank, since Miss Bird City joined us, we might as well thank Bird City Comics. So make sure to use the code Nirvana if you're on their website. They have exclusive drops pretty much every week, huh?
Every week, and tomorrow we are dropping our Boris Karloff, which I believe, prove me if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, whatever. The first Gold Key exclusive for a store, I believe, because Gold Key got sold, and we.
Then they had the Kickstarter campaign, and then now they're in full publishing mode now, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. Very, very
Joe,
cool.
did you see my post on IG?
Mm-mm.
It's your 9.8 Astonishing Ant-Man that you got from me.
Oh, let's see it. You have it there?
It's in my other office, but I did a whole thing of it, and I love it. So thank you.
And we found what was the other one? We got a 9.6 on the other one. It was a 9.4.
I don't remember.
We got a 9.6.
9.4, 9.6.
We got the elusive 9.8. So
we got it. You got it.
No.
I was gonna say, was that your first 9.8 for that book?
It was, yeah, and that's my favorite Frozen book. I know it's not the most valuable, but it's my personal favorite. And
that's one of the best, man.
I have one stashed away somewhere, so
yeah,
I love it.
Beautiful book.
But I cheated and I bought the 9.8. So
I did it the long way. I sent it to Joe. I'm like, see what you can do. I wasn't expecting a 9.8, but it came back and he worked his magic. So thank you, Joe.
It's because you bought all the raw copies. I couldn't find raw copies. So, anyways, we'd like to thank our other sponsors too, Cover Price. So make sure you're using the code Nirvana14 for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents.
And they're dropping a ton of awesome new content on that website if you're not checking it out. So they my favorite show is done by TiVo and the Lords of the Lombox show, where it's their Shaker show covering those books. I do write for that periodically, and it's fantastic. So if you're not using Cover Price, you're really missing out. The best resource in the
100%
hobby, if you ask me.
Nice. All right. So our disclaimer now, it changes every week. So we're going to encourage you to buy off of everyone's eBay, because we made sure to make this list just for that you're buying it from us, and then or Laura, so you can buy books like as you're on the show. So
you sound so serious. It took me time to see if you were kidding. I'm like, is he kidding? He's kidding.
Yeah,
you sounded serious.
He's
but I mean
kidding.
Yeah.
Because
we changed our disclaimer every week. So now that people break the rules, I mean, even I break the rules now too.
I don't break the rules.
Everybody breaks the rules, and they love to make a point of it. I will say this, a lot of the books we cover on the show, I'm proud of, but it shows up. These books show up on the Shaker Report or the Hot. Well, not usually the Hot 10, but the Almost 10.
Almost 10
books are so obscure. So they're not. There's not enough of them selling to show up on the Hot 10. But yeah, I mean, these were books definitely to be hunting for, because we talk about a lot of books that have appeal that are not easy to get hands on. So get out there, get hunting.
All right, I guess we're gonna go ahead and dive in.
All right, we're gonna start a little different today, because this is not usually the kind of stuff that we talk about on the show. This book just came out, and I just wanted to actually just pick some brains on this real quick. Well, first of all, it's a beautiful Villalobos 1 in 25 variant. But what I found interesting is that how well this book is selling right now. It just seems like there should be a lot of these. And here's why. There are a couple of store exclusives, so that's certainly going to put more copies into the market. There was a Hughes cover and a Campbell cover. So your regular stores are probably going to be ordering this book fairly heavily. So I would think that this book would be fairly plentiful, but they are disappearing from the market, and they seem to be ticking up, north of 100 now, 115, 120, maybe more. I was too busy today to check, but yeah, I mean, this one really caught me by surprise. I thought this would be one that you'd be able to grab maybe closer to ratio, but forget that, it's long gone.
Yeah. And I'm sad because I didn't even pick up this book, but I picked up like 5 of the Adam Hughes one.
Yeah.
Adam Hughes is good. It's good. It's
I don't even remember. I don't even remember what it looks like. It's still in the shipping box.
Yeah, I think somebody in the chat, actually, James said it. I think this will be one of those books that Villalobos is known for. Kind of like, Batgirl 23, you think Middleton. I think this will be one of those books that people try to collect if they're a fan of his art. And what you were saying, Ben, like whether or not there's a lot of these out there, I think it might come down a little bit, but I see it holding. I've been seeing people posting this all over social media. They want this book. This is something that it's beautiful, but it's also, I think, going to become one of those covers that are associated with the artist itself.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I think that's,
immediately
that's fair.
It's just wow.
Yeah. And then copy 801, that's a good pickup at $35. Not bad at all.
It's not bad.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I held off. I think I saw some out there, pre-orders in the 40, 50 range, maybe. I don't think anything as low as 35. It's like, what, I'm going to wait on this one because I think it's going to come in because there's going to be so many of them. But, forget that. Got that one wrong, and this thing's off to the races and maybe never to come back down to earth. But it's beautiful.
I think it might come down a little bit, though, if you're patient.
Yeah, I think so. But if people are going to hold this, I think people are grabbing this because they're just going to keep it. They're not going to flip it. They're going to put it in their collection. A lot of these ratios, sometimes people don't like them, or they don't like them that much. The whole thing is, how quickly can I flip this thing? And I don't feel that's the case with this. I think people like it enough just to keep it in the PC and never let it see the market again. So
maybe.
But I guess these also have, there's 4 different centerfolds for this, which they never told people about. And I'm curious if over time, some of those centerfolds, distinguish from others to cause, greater price increases on certain of these books. I don't know what they are. I haven't seen any of them, but I have heard that they did that. And it'll be curious to see, if some of those cause, certain versions of this to go up even more. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
James, check your copy since you have 3.
All right,
see if they're all different.
Yeah, James, let us know. All right. Did everybody go blank there first, or was that just me?
I think it's just
all right, this is Savage Wolverine. It's just Savage Wolverine number 14. This is a Film Noto 1 in 100. You almost never see this book. There is a color version of this as well that I believe is a 1 in 50. No recent sales that I was able to find of this. There are 8 copies total on the census, 3 in 9.8, but a really cool period piece featuring Wolverine by one of my favorite artists, Phil Noto, and I've never come anywhere close to finding this one.
You want to tell them, Aaron?
I want to say this showed up in the market report yesterday for McClay, because
no, Big Leg was showing it off. He got one slapped at a 9.8 last night. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. And then everyone's comment was like, "Man, it looks like Wolverine's taking a dump in this."
Oh yeah.
You know,
Damn it, that ruined it. I hadn't seen it that way.
so where would
Guys.
so I missed this. Big Leg had this. He sell
Yeah,
it or
see-
he just has it?
he just
I
got-
think he's going to sell it.
He just got it
okay.
back in a CGC submission.
Yeah, he
like-
did an unboxing last night.
Yeah, he had like
Good
75.
find.
Yeah, he had 75 books that came back. Like, so I think what he was grading was some SDCC books that needed pressing, and then like all his rare, hard to find books or books that had like low census counts that he knew
Good
he
for
had.
him.
Yeah, so I mean, which
Yeah.
is smart that he's adjusting. I mean, that shows you that like if speculation isn't working out, then you move on to like a different part of this section of the market, and so that's what he started focusing on was those rare obscure books that everyone wants right now.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly driving the market. That's crazy that he had one of these. But
Ben, do you like the color one better or do you like this one better?
I should have put them both on. I think I like this one better. It just feels more authentic
Savage?
to the period. Yeah, to the
Yeah.
period.
Yeah,
Whereas the other one, it's more browns and earthy tones, if I recall, the color version of this one. So yeah, I think this one's pretty cool. But I've been looking for this with no success ever. So that's great to know that Leg's got it. Good find.
Yeah.
Did you ever say where he found it?
I don't think he went that far, but
Yeah.
he does have a 9.8. I'll give you that heads up.
I'll ask him. I'll ask him sometime.
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested.
I'm probably not in the market for a 9.8, but I'll hold out hope that I find it at some con somewhere that some dealer doesn't know what they have.
I feel like that's the situation of how he found it, like where it was like at a con and he just kind of saw it on a wall book, and then he bundled it with a deal, and then which brings down your average of per book or whatever.
That is the way to do it. The way to do it.
And then the dealer ended up marking down more than what it was like price tagged at as well. So
yeah, I mean, sometimes you can find wall books, at crazy prices and then get a discount on top of it. I know that's not generally the case at cons, but I've had pretty good success. Just for whatever reason, everything is marked super high, but there's just one or two on there that are way below market, and then you work a deal on top of it, and you end up walking away with a steal. So
you just find the smaller booths that aren't like busy and loud, full of people.
Yeah.
So
that's it. Alrighty. Next on the show, Campbell for Joe. Another Savage Wolverine, number 6. This is a 1 in 50 by J. Scott Campbell. Joe, do you have this one?
No.
this is why this is why he stopped showing up to the show. He keeps on we keep on showing Campbell books that he doesn't have.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, I love Elektra. I'm one of my favorite Marvel characters. A 9.8 for this sold for $168 April of last year. So we're coming up on a year and a half since we've seen a sale of this, at least graded. 48 on the census, which is not a huge number by any means. 38 and 9.8. But
people are
just another
holding
one.
these if they have them.
Yeah, just another one for the Campbell collectors.
What's
Beautiful.
up, hip hop?
What do you think, Joe?
I think I got to get that one.
He's like pulling up eBay now.
I know, right? This is
I don't
nice.
know
It's
if
good
they're-
movement.
I
good
don't know if
flow.
I checked if there are any of these on eBay or not.
Yeah, this is a good one, Paul. Mama.
One
That's
of my
shabby.
favorite things to hear when we're talking about books, when people say, "I've never seen this." That's the point of the show. We're trying to bring things to people that maybe aren't showing up every day. So, all right, let's keep the ball rolling.
Oh yeah.
So Extremist number 2, Jenny Frizen 1 in 25. This is pretty stunning.
I don't
Show
have it.
from-
Ben.
You don't have it.
I
It's
don't
hard
have
to-
it.
It's hard to find.
It's very
I
hard to
don't have
find.
it either.
Yeah.
shout out to Longshank78 on Instagram. Great follow if you're not following him. When I was putting this together, we put this on the list for tonight, and then later in the day, he posts this book, and I'm like, hey man, tune in tonight. We're going to talk about this. So, a very tough to find Frizzen. Only 12 copies on the census, so super low. Although somebody got a freaking steal this summer, $89 for a 9.8.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But a book you'd be hard pressed to find, and you're not going to pay $89 raw for this thing. I don't think. There'll be a lot more.
When I was shopping around for Frizzen OA, this piece ended up on her gallery website.
Really?
Yeah, I think it had already sold by the time I was shopping around for a piece.
About $5,000?
No, it was less than $2,000.
Really?
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or it might have been at the $2,000 mark, somewhere around there. It was.
I see one on eBay. It's for $109.29 or best offer plus $17 for shipping from the UK. It says near mint.
Yeah, but shipping
But
from
I'm not
the UK.
supposed to buy anything
Why?
because it's
That's
against
one
the
of those-
rules, Joe.
That's one of those books that you when it's set up like that, just watch it and see if they throw you an offer, and then throw them a counter offer.
Wait, that's a thing? They can see that I'm watching?
Yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So let me know how that goes. As long
That's
as
like
someone-
saying, "Hey, I'm interested. Is that your final offer?
Yeah.
Are you firm? Are you firm on that?"
Yeah. Is that your firm price? And then when they throw you a counter, or when they throw you an offer, counter offer it to lower, just to see if there's any more movement in. Or,
Add to
I just
watch
hate it when someone's selling something for $100 and I'm watching it, and then they make an offer and it's like $97.
Sorry, $97.25.
You know what I mean?
It's how'd you come up with that number?
Wait a
I
minute,
never watch
$3
anything.
cheaper. I'm intrigued.
I would just buy. Why didn't you guys tell me this 5 years ago?
I say it all the time.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's how I get stuff for cheap.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
I'm watching it now.
Well, good luck. Good luck.
well, and then that's a good lesson too. Patience sometimes pays off.
Aaron's gonna. That's Aaron's eBay. You're on. He's about to send you an offer right now for.
See, that's my secret account because it's shipping from the UK.
Yeah, you're in the UK.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's talk about some Cho tonight. Some Frank Cho. This is Cavewoman, Pigeon C #1. This is the piggyback blue foil variant. 2 on the census, none of which are 9.8. This is a very early Cho work, one of his earliest. The story behind this piece is that he did Cho did the pencils, and then Bud Root, who does most of the Cavewoman stuff, did the inks and the colors on a photocopy of the original drawing. But this is pretty hard to find. There are 2 versions of it. There's the foil, and then there's the regular one. That's on the next page, Aaron, if you want to hop over to it, Roke. Yeah, it's substantially similar, just that the trade dress is not in foil here. There's 4 of these on the census, 1 in 9.8. So I can't verify this, but I believe there's 1,000 copies produced of this version, and those blue foils that they were doing at the time were $450 to $500 typically. But you don't see these pop up all that often. But
This is so cool. I would never have guessed Cho in a million years.
Well, you can see his signature down there, but he is. And then you'll like this, Laura. The next page, this is the original art for it.
Oh,
You
wow.
can definitely see his lines a little bit more here before it was inked. But this
Yeah.
was actually sold on Heritage several years ago.
Wow.
I wonder if Dinesh owns it.
Maybe. But just a really cool book to keep your eyes open for. I think these are exactly the sort of books that can fly under the radar.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
The dealers don't really necessarily appreciate it. But people who know, they know, and they're gonna charge you a market rate for it, I would guess. But this is a really cool book. We were talking in the chat about what was Cho's first work, and so we went. Aaron went to McClay's creators first list that he has. Anybody who's not aware of that, check it out. Brian McClay, obviously, big part of the community. Modern Comic Mayhem does the Hot 10 with Ben Stein, in addition to several other podcasts. So just a great member of our community. He put that together, and his first book, what did we say it was? Freaks number 10 by Malibu.
I can double check. Give me a second.
I'm pretty sure that's interior work. Freaks number 10, but by Malibu. But we were trying to figure out, what was his first cover work, because he's really known as a cover artist for the most part. And once Aaron checks that, we can go to the next slide. And I think if anybody,
so first work was Free X number 10, Malibu Comics. Early work was SPX, Small Press Expo, 1997. First cover, Cavewoman, the mature version number 1.
Which is the book we have on the next slide.
Okay.
So, not 100% verified, but we believe this is his first cover. Obviously, there's a lot of appealing things here for collectors. Creator first, octopuses, cave women.
I think it's octopi, Ben.
Octopi.
I don't actually know. We're gonna say octopi. It sounds better.
Octopi.
Wouldn't that be like one or more than one octopus? Would it be octopi?
No, octopi
right?
would be plural.
So there'd be multiple, but there's only one. So there's multiple tentacles, though.
Oh, damn it! You're right. It's just an octopus. Yeah. All right. Well played, Yee. Well played.
I was going to say something, but I'll behave tonight.
He's like, Laura's on. I can't say it.
Whatever. It's never held him back before.
That's true, too.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
I think someone got a pretty good deal on this. I mean, it was a while ago. It was last summer, $142, May of 2022. 16 on the census, 6 and 9.8. But a book that probably should have a bit more attention than it does, I think.
Is this a niche market to collect tentacles? Is that a thing?
Oh, it's a big. It's niche, but I mean, it's not that niche. I mean, there are people who definitely, squids and tentacles and that kind of stuff. I mean,
for a while on Drunken Chat, we're pointing out every single cover that had tentacles on it and stuff like that. And the ongoing joke was that that because we talk about it all the time is the reason why publishers keep on doing it. But that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I think that niche, that goes back, to it's Golden Age stuff. There were, tentacles.
Yeah.
I think it's been a big collectible niche for a while.
It's probably related to like the whole like anime hentai stuff or whatever.
Look,
of why
James,
it's still
the scientific octopuses. All right, James said the scientific.
Octopi is a mismatched English-Latin hybrid. All right, Ben. You got me on that. Octopuses. Okay. Good to know.
All right. The fact that anybody watches this show amazes me. But anyways, thank you for anybody watching at the moment. Please, thank you for tuning in and embracing the insanity along with us.
But as a disclaimer, none of us are biologists, so
or octopiologists, octopusagists,
or that.
Joe's
is like, I can't contain myself anymore.
All right, a little bit more chill, because why the hell not? This is a tougher book to find, but you can find it out there. This is Shaolin Cowboy, Who Will Stop the Rain, issue number 2. This is a cover B. I just got this book from the Hall of Comics, which everybody knows is my local LCS. On there, they have like a weekly auction, and then they had it up for sale. And I've been looking for this one for a while. 27 copies on the census, 23 and 9.8. What's interesting is there was about 9,500 copies of this ordered, and this is a cover B. So I don't know what you want to assume, even if you assume 50-50. This book, there's a couple of them on eBay, but it's not that easy to get hands on. And those are some nuns causing some problems from this guy at the beach.
Those aren't nuns. Wait.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
What does her butt say?
Nun bun.
Okay, you're right. These are nuns. We got it. And she has cross. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, actually, the buttons that you were pushing, I was about to do the same thing you were doing, but
I'm like,
all right.
shit, this is my show and I'm touching buttons. I'm sorry.
Well, I jumped onto one of your shows and touched buttons too, and then you blamed
That's
Lucy.
true. So we touch each other's buttons, and that's okay.
Anyways,
Yeah.
just
moving on.
moving on
before we get canceled.
Fantastic Four number 8 from
That's
2019. This is a Bill Sinkovich 1 in 25.
You said it right. Nobody ever says it right.
Mama!
Yeah, what do they say? Sinkovich or something like that? I don't know what they, but
Sinkovich.
yeah.
Sinkovich.
Bill, you know what's funny? I met a guy with the last name, and I asked him, "How do you pronounce it?" And he said, "No, I don't want to say incorrectly, but he said Sinkovich is how he pronounces it." And I said, "There's a famous artist where it's Sinkovich, and it's a big thing. Like, he seemed to give a shit, but I just thought that was funny."
So anyways, it's like a tomato kind of situation for him. For the person you met.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think it's just however. But we all love Sinkovich. I mean, this is kind of a sultry Sue Storm cover, where she's kind of turning invisible through half of it. But I know, just a book that I've always kind of liked. It doesn't really go for a whole hell of a lot, but I'm a big Sinkovich fan.
It's actually going to make me thumb through a Fantastic Four bin now.
This is 1 in 25, so and Fantastic Four was selling all right at the time. I think this book was probably doing 40 to 50,000 at this point. So, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to find these. I don't believe there are any exclusives or any of that stuff going on, but so it shouldn't be overly inflated, but these should be out there. But one I always keep an eye open for.
Nice.
It's pretty.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's keep the show rolling. All right, this was Tony's suggestion. So Tony's not on tonight or in the chat that I've seen, but Tiny Toons recently had a new streaming show come out. I think just this week, and he thought that these books would potentially pop. These are magazines. I believe the first appearance of the Tiny Toons. There are 2 versions of this. This is the direct edition. 4 copies on the census, none in 9.8. What's interesting?
I pressed this one for Tony.
Oh, you did?
Really?
I think he got a 9.4.
I think that's right. I think it was a 9.4 I saw as well, Joe. There's this version, and if you go to the next one, Aaron, there's a newsstand as well. Right here. What's interesting about this is that you can't really see it here, but it tells you the month it came out, and the direct came out in October, and it's labeled as such, and the newsstand came out in November. Is the newsstand the first appearance? Maybe not. People want to split hairs, but just kind of an obscure collectible that if the show pops, there may be some more interest in people grabbing this thing. So shout out to Tony Blue Green Artifacts, for these. And if you're watching, man, hop on and say hi.
Man, I used to watch this cartoon all the time growing up.
It was a huge hit.
Yeah.
A huge hit.
And then the constant movie I always watched was their summer vacation movie that they had.
I don't think I ever saw that, but I think the show is called something like Tooniversity or something like that. I don't know if they're going to school or something, but it just came out in September.
Oh, okay, the new one.
Yeah,
Nice. Oh, did they age them up then? So like they're in college.
you know, I didn't watch it, so maybe a little bit. I don't know. It would make
They're
sense.
still
Maybe.
tune aged in college. Yee, do the intro. Sing it.
We're tiny, we're teeny.
We're all a
A
little
little
loony.
loony. And I don't remember anything after that.
And in this cartoony, we're amazing your TVs, right?
Invading your
Never.
TVs, right?
Invading your TVs. You're right. Fuck yeah. Oh, good. Sorry.
It's your channel, so.
Muting.
Oh.
Muting.
Oh, so we're the ones that are gonna get that limited strike on, or whatever. On, All right, what do we have next?
Yeah. What do we have
Ooh.
next?
Okay.
This is Aphrodite 9, or IX. I've heard people say it both ways. Aphrodite 9, number 4. This is David Finch really smoothing and refining his style, homaging his famous cover from The Wizard Zero, I believe. This book is tougher to get hands on. I mean, I found this in the dollar bin, but I think there's only a couple on eBay asking at least 25, if not more. 9,200 copies ordered. Like I said, this is a cover B. So, you know, if you're assuming the split is up the middle somewhere, you know, there's not going to be stacks of these laying around, I wouldn't think. But just a really well done Finch cover that you don't immediately think Finch when you see it, other than maybe the homage aspect of it. And Stein would point out that he says, books with girls drawn from the back seem to sell better. So
That's kind of true.
But yeah, this is one. I found one digging a little while ago, and I was pretty happy to find it. But yeah, I think people were asking at least $25 for this book. So if you find it out there digging, definitely snatch one of these up.
Love it.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Joe, have you found this before?
Nope. I've always been a big fan of Finch, and when I think of Finch, I think of that Wonder Woman cover that you can never find.
Oh God, yeah. That one is impossible. That's a 1 in 100, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is a legit ghost.
Is that the one with the perfect star placement? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. No, he never gets a lot of love, but he's a hell of an artist, man. So.
Yeah, and like I said, this one is just very different take on on him. He has those lots of little lines, more of that 90s feel, and this one is much more smooth and refined than some.
Really is. You wouldn't think, oh, this is Finch right off looking at it. That's what I like about the show too, Ben. You always pick covers that aren't obvious unless you really know what you're looking for, and it's neat.
Yeah, we try to cover some of the bit more obscure stuff, but yeah, this is a fun one. So
Finch was on my list of artists to get a commission from until I saw his prices.
Crazy.
Why? What are his prices?
They're expensive, like approaching Jim Lee prices.
What?
Oh,
$600-700?
Like over 1,000, I think.
Over $1,000.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like I think it's over $1,000, less than 3.
God.
wow.
Damn.
But I think he's also he's one of those artists that also only does 9x12s, stuff like that.
So it's a bigger piece.
It's a bigger piece, and I think it's full body. But he does a lot of detail in it too, where you can see why you spent so much money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's an incredibly detailed artist for sure, but that's that's like an entire con budget times 2.
So guess how much a Josh Middleton, 9x12 Josh Middleton costs original art.
Oh man, that's got to be. I mean, is this a
$1,200.
custom sketch, like, or is it a piece that he's reselling?
It's a custom sketch that he has on his site right now.
I mean, Milton,
1,200.
1,500,
4,000.
4,000. Wow.
I went and looked the other night after our show. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy some OA. And I'm like, oh my god, no, maybe next time.
It's like not after a trip from Italy, so
Right, I know, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So another shout out to Stein. He loves the Coppertone homage covers. This is Murderland #1. Now, if you go search and look for this book, it'd be very difficult to find because this is the back cover, not the front cover. So it doesn't really go for anything. But you probably wouldn't see this if you're just searching up this book. But this is in the back. A cool Coppertone homage cover. One I probably need to ask Stein if he has. I'm sure he does, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to reach out to him and ask him.
So when you say back cover, is that like pun intended for this cover?
Unintended, yeah.
Yeah.
When you say reach out to Stein, do you mean challenge Stein? Do you have this cover?
No, I'm not going to challenge him when it comes to this stuff. This is his area.
Yeah.
I've got one I know for a fact that he doesn't have. It's a rare Creature Entertainment one, and but yeah, I would not challenge him on this.
He might have a bubblegum cover you don't have then.
I'm sure he does. Every day someone's posting one that I've never seen. I mean, I can't keep up with all the bubblegum covers anymore.
Yeah, and you have like the biggest bubblegum collection that I know of. Like, what, you have like a long box now at this point?
Yeah, I hope I'm the only one. I mean, who's crazy enough to buy books that way?
I think you kind of started that trend though. Like for me anyway, whenever I'm like looking around, I'm like, oh, I got a message to Long Short. I'm like, no, he doesn't care. I don't want to bug. But I think that all the time.
Anymore.
Oh, nice, Carter. I don't think I submitted anything to Ben about this, or I'm sure I saw your message on the Discord, but yeah.
Okay.
All right. What else do we have on the show tonight? So I saw this the other day, and I was really stunned by it. I don't remember, the buzz about this, but this is Soza Micah. This is her art book #2. And it was limited to 150 copies. It's foil. I assume all of these are going to be signed. I don't know for a fact, but I would imagine the vast majority of them are anyway. But it's a really stunning book to the point where I ended up buying one on eBay because I'm like, what is this?
Joe, why are you shaking your head so much? What do you have to say here?
Me?
No, Joe.
That book is awesome, man. And I love the pink signatures. Freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel like 80s,
It has a really awesome 80s vibe to it. It's weird because I remember when her first art book came out, there was all sorts of buzz. Everybody was talking about it, and maybe I just am not in the right circles, but I just don't remember. I don't remember seeing or hearing anybody talking about this thing.
I have one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll look. Keep talking. I'll see if I can find it.
Was that her art book for San Diego then?
Yeah, I believe this is the San Diego one. Yeah.
Okay. Someone sent me. I want to say someone sent me a link for that. But I don't think or that it was coming or something like that. But
how the hell if it's limited to 150, how did it not sell out? I mean, that's nothing.
I mean, I think it was like a link before San Diego. I want to say.
And
is this the one you're thinking about, or is this an old one?
No, that's the first one.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Yeah, that thing was.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I don't remember seeing the foil.
And then there's a metal. There's a metal version of this as well.
Wow,
that's gold. That shows more of whoever the girl is on this. It's like a full body shot of her. And those were limited to 50, I think, like a gold metal version of this as well.
Oh, she was selling these on her Whatnot. The first one she sold for like 60, and the next one for like 130.
Oh shit!
Wow.
All right.
Well,
Thank you.
yeah.
Still chilling.
Yep. Oh, I got to meet him too. So
You met Soza Micah?
no, still chilling.
Oh. Or Micah Sozo, I should say, huh?
Is
Yeah.
that like her actual name, right?
Yeah, so
can't
she has 2 Instagrams. She has a Sozo Micah one, which is like her professional one. But then if you follow her on Micah Sozo, that's a whole nother story. This girl's intense. She's very she's intense. She's a queen. So if you follow that one, you kind of see what I'm talking about.
I've met people that have met her or hung out with her like after cons and stuff like that, and said she's a wild child. And
she seems to have
That's
a
a
big
good way of putting it.
personality. She seems to have a very big personality.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then every morning I was at MegaCon, someone would message me, like whether it be Lucy or whoever, was like, "Hey, try to go meet Soza Micah and tell her to like jump on like whatever show." And then I was like, she's never at her booth. So like I was like, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, it matters. She's very nice. She's very talented. There's so much potential with her. I'm curious to see what happens over the next, 5-10 years with this artist.
Yeah, some of the drawings inside this are stunning, but yeah, definitely a unique electric style. So hopefully she keeps going.
Yeah,
electric. That's a good way of putting it.
I don't know any other way to describe it, but it seems to fit. So, all right, another sketchbook. Anybody who's been watching our show for a while knows, we had an entire episode just on sketchbooks and how cool they are to collect and how hard they can be to get hands on. So this is one I just like personally. This is Steve Mann, and he's an exceptionally talented artist. I believe he really just does his own stuff for the most part. Fearless Dawn, but this has that Space Girl vibe. This came out in 2012 and just has a really cool vibe to it. I really like this image and how it presents.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I like how we're going down this rabbit hole of the Space Girl with the space helmets and stuff like that.
Well, it's a throwback. This is like a retro thing. I've always sort of gravitated towards books like this, and they go back to the golden age. Obviously, they've existed throughout the history of the hobby, but there is, we talked about tentacles. This is certainly a niche to itself too, right? The whole Space Girl vibe.
Yeah.
And this one's pretty cool. But I just an artist that I like. To check out some of his Fearless Dawn books. He does the interior art for the most part. The covers, really, really quite good.
Oh, I'm excited for Vampirella in space now.
All right. All right. So real quick, Joe, some more Campbell for you. I have been noticing that Campbell's exclusives are all starting to tick up. Some hitting crazy prices, right? Mm-hmm. We saw, although I don't think the sale actually went through, somebody had bid his Felicia's Loft store exclusive in San Diego exclusive up to like over $1,000 in 9.8. But all of his Felicia Black Cat books are kind of creeping up a little bit. So this was a Midtown, and this one, I don't know, it doesn't appear to me that Midtown printed this one to the moon and back, because there's only, there's a handful of them on eBay, but it's not littered with them. There's none left on the Midtown site, which is uncommon for their own books. But this is Amazing Spider-Man 801, the final issue until they relaunched it next week with a new Amazing Spider-Man #1.
Until Dan Slott took over.
Yeah. Yes. A 9.8 sold $56 of this in April of this year. Raws go for probably 30-ish, 25-30-ish, I think, on this generally. Mm-hmm. But 110 on the census, 82 and 9.8. And this just seems like one of these books that could be a sleeper. Down the road, all of a sudden you see this thing sort of take on a life of its own. I assume you have this one, Joe?
Nope. I don't have that one either.
Really?
I know I don't.
I think Midtown was only charging like whatever cover was, like $5 for this thing. If I'm not mistaken.
I have to check my box. I've got so many black hats.
Yeah.
I this one just doesn't. I don't think I have it.
Well, what you need to do is message Mel to go stop by the
warehouse.
the Midtown warehouse in case they have it stashed away there in their outlet.
I'll
store.
scoop it up. I think this one's still pretty cheap, right?
Yeah, it's not crazy expensive. AOA hates Campbell. You know, I can't win on this show. People tell me they hate Campbell and I don't put Campbell on the show. People are like, where's Campbell? We like the Campbell book, so
how's Campbell a hack?
I can't win. I can't win.
Don't let AOA get under your skin.
He's not doing AI, bro.
So Cueva must have gotten a sneak peek of the show before we came out, because if you go to the next slide, which will say this is a connecting cover. So well done, brother. Good stuff. This is Amazing Spider-Man #1. So this was when they relaunched this book. Completed the picture, if you will. Although what I will say about the other one, it is a gatefold cover, so that cover does open up on the other one, which it does on this one, I believe, as well. Or this one might be a wraparound, I forget. But anyways, beautiful Mary Jane cover here, also from Midtown. I mean, a 9.8 of this sold just last month for $145, which is pretty damn respectable.
It's because people are hyped on the jackpot situation, right?
Yeah, there you go, jackpot right there with the slot machine.
Yeah.
112 on the census, 98 and 9.8, and 43 are signed. So a big signature population on this book, but another just beautiful Campbell. If Campbell's your thing, AOA, I know it's not yours. He's not yours, but these books seem to slowly be kind of starting to disappear, and just they're all just kind of taking little steps up in price, it seems. So speculation on characters in the MCU or the DCU, whatever, that stuff doesn't seem to be moving the market the way it used to. People seem to be gravitating towards scarcity and just completing collections of their favorite artists.
Well, I kind of like this because it has that American traditional tattoo vibe to it.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
You don't have this one either, Joe? You don't think? Or
I know I don't.
And it's kind of funny because there's a lot of connecting covers for that 801 and issue 1. Because I know Tyler Kirkham did one. I have that, but I can't think of others off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, ASM 601, 100%. We covered that book on the show in pretty good detail. It was a prior episode a few weeks ago where I was saying that that the newsstand of that, could be a monster book, crazy prices, just given how iconic that that image has become. I mean, Joe, the Campbell fan, was saying that might be his all-time favorite cover. Not to put words in your mouth, Joe, but I mean that's how strongly you felt about it.
Yeah, and right behind it is the Renew Your Vows with Peter Parker and Mary Jane is almost like the sequel to that cover.
Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah.
Speaking of newsstands, though, didn't we have a winner for someone that found a newsstand that was later?
Yeah. Who was that? We have to go back and pull the notes on that.
All right, we'll start going over the next book. I'll look it up.
Okay, cool. All right, so
I have that.
You do have this. This is a damn ghost, man. So this is Witchblade 150, the Campbell 1 in 25. A couple of things blew me away. 9.8 sold for this back in 2022 for $1,000, and then a Raw this week just sold for $480.
Really?
I mean, that's big fucking bucks. and only 25 on the census, which is nothing, right? 11 and 9.
I found this in a back bin, dude.
Well,
Years ago.
Good score, man. Very good score.
Are you gonna sell it? No.
No.
You're like,
I'm gonna
because I'll never get it again.
I'm gonna get it graded.
I mean, so
Nice.
Witchblade. I mean, this was the final issue, right? This is when they ended the series,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know. I mean, the orders presumably were quite low. I should have looked it up. So there probably weren't many people ordering 25 copies, but this is a very tough to find Campbell. So I'm sure all of the people who hate Campbell have tuned out already, but but this is a big book.
Okay, so I found the winner of the challenge to find a book later than what was it, October 2013. They found a book that is from December of
So hold on, I want to qualify that. I looked that up. I believe that was also October because it says on that book. Do you have the picture by any chance?
Yeah, because okay,
it says we're
okay,
taken off the shelves by December 2013.
yeah,
but I believe it came out in October 2013 as well.
Yeah, so fair warning, this book is still on eBay. We're not encouraging you to buy it or anything like that. It's just for visual representation, but it's still live and active. So fair warning. I don't know who the seller is. Someone just sent me the slide, which we're gonna give a shout out to TG9000 is the
TG9000. So yeah. I want to say that I looked this up, and I'm not trying to throw water on the flame here, but I believe it also came out in October 2013, where a couple of other ones. If you can you zoom in all the way? Does it say remove? I think it.
Yeah, it says display until 12/10.
Wow.
So they all say that, right? So if I look up, hold on, I'm going to pull this up exactly when this came out. I can give me 1 second. I'll tell you when it's Superior. What's the issue? Superior Spider-Man 12?
20.
Oh, 20. Here we go. Yeah. So take a look at this, Aaron. I'm going to drop this link in the chat if you want to share it.
Okay.
It came out October 30th, 2013.
Which I think it still qualifies because the other books were mid-October, or is it the
might?
Same?
I think it was October 23rd, maybe. So this one may take the cake.
Yeah. Yes. So in shops, October 30th, 2013.
But so we're going to hold off. We'll continue to run the contest. I don't even know what I'm giving away. I guess it's got to be something with the newsstand to make it cool. But if anybody can find anything later, this right now is the winner for the latest Marvel newsstand edition. Anybody else has any ideas, hit up me, hit up Aaron, hit up whoever, Joe, on IG and let us know.
Yeah, Michael, you might have this book, but is it a newsstand edition? Is the question? Is the challenge? Yeah, I don't know if this person owns the book either. Was that part of the?
No, they didn't have to own it. I just wanted evidence that there was something later because, ironically, hold on, do I have the issue here? Yeah, it's right here. That whole Space Girl theme that we're talking about, right? I've always admired this book. This one says display till like November. So yeah, but when I found this in newsstand, I was thinking to myself, this is the latest that I had seen. So I'm trying to find, can we find what the last Marvel newsstand was? So anyways, keep hunting and let us know.
No.
That's it for the show tonight.
Yep. And then just to run down the show list again. So make sure to catch tomorrow night for an episode of Nearing Nerdvana. Saturday, we have Saturday morning toy box. Monday is Cover Lovers. Tuesday is the show that started it all with Comic Book Women. Wednesday, we still need to update this graphic, and we haven't done that, but that's on us. It's a Comics News Weekly show with the Team Nerd Herd. And then you're back here with us on Thursdays.
Next Thursday, I will be traveling, so I won't be able to be on. And then I will try the Thursday after that, but I'll just be getting back from a different trip. So we will see what we can put together.
So we might have a dual pickup show, half episodes for the next 2 weeks. So Ben can participate in all the fun when he's gone.
Yeah,
I know.
If next Thursday we can't get a show together for slides and books, I'll be in Europe. So hopefully I'll be able to find some books that we can show for pickups when I'm traveling.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's good books, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carter had to work today. Mike, he wanted to be on. He was all amped up, ready to go, and then got called into work. So
yeah,
no Carter, no Sylvester.
Yeah, and then we were gonna have a show on Flipside with him on either Wednesday or Tuesday. I think Tuesday and or Wednesday, and then Tuesday I think he got called into work as well, and same with Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Even though he was supposed to be off. So
yeah, Wednesday it was the show. Yeah, the Flipside. We were going to do it on Wednesday instead of Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday he got called in. So
yeah.
Well, anyways, thank you for joining us, tuning in, watching the show. We appreciate the comments and
great show, guys.
And if you have any books you want us to talk about, please hit us up. Let us know. We love having viewer submissions in here, so please let us know.
And then we want to thank our sponsors again. So make sure you're subbed up to Cover Price. So use the code Nirvana14 for the 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. If you're going to NYCC, make sure to stop by the booth of Cover Price and say what's up to Matt DeVoe and let him know how much you love the show, and then he'll say the exact same thing. And then Bird City will be there as well. So make sure you're using the code Nirvana for a 10% discount for their website. And Joe had to dip out, and that means it's time for all of us to go as well. So y'all have a good one.